Hey everyone, yeah, just adjust the old Ataruni. And okay, so I'm often asked, Michael, which camera should I buy to film content for my business, film content in general? I want to go birding and take some pictures of puffins and all that kind of thing. So I'm asked this question quite a lot because obviously I own a digital marketing company and we do a lot of video content for clients. So, yeah. Right. So, the camera that I use most of the time is the Sony A7 IV, which is this little beauty. And we own 3 of these cameras. Usually use 2 at a time for A cam, B cam, and also one as a backup, or if there's a podcast we'll use all 3. So these are a fantastic camera. Used to use the Canon R6 quite a lot, but that used to overheat and that let me down a few times on jobs, so no longer use that one. But yeah, when I originally bought this one, I got it off Amazon, and I actually had some intention of sending it back, and I didn't think I was going to like it because I'd never bought a Sony before. I'm more on the Canon and Blackmagic side of things, using EF mount, so I didn't really want to switch camera system. I think at one point Canon was ahead of Sony on video, but then Sony seemed to really take over with the video side of things. And this A7 IV is just a fantastic camera. It's got a switch on it, so you can switch between camera, video, and S and Q mode. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's everything I need in a camera, really. It's got a crop, but that doesn't bother me. Just use a wider lens, on that. So yeah, the camera that I would and do recommend is the A7 IV. Now, if you're going to if the budget doesn't allow that, then I go for the A7 III as an alternative. Now, on the Canon side, the thing is, when I first started buying cameras, there weren't all these cameras out there. But on the Canon side, if you're on a budget, I'd probably go for the R7. It is a crop sensor, but you have got 4K, and you've got dual pixel autofocus as well, and obviously you've got your RF mount there as well. So it depends what you're looking for, but yeah, I'd go for the R7 if we were getting that. Apart from that, I'm kind of reluctant on recommend the R6 Mark II, because I think the Sony's a better camera, but I know there's a lot on the Canon side who do prefer the R6 Mark II, but it's a good price. It is cheaper than the Sony A7 IV, but I just think the A7 IV is a better camera all around. But yeah, if you're on the Canon side, I would go for the R6 Mark II. Definitely wouldn't get an R6 Mark I because of the overheating. So that's caused me problems in the past. It has overheated on a couple of jobs, and I do remember them vividly as well. I remember it switching off, and it nearly switched off on one shoot where it were the B cam. I had a Blackmagic 6K Pro as the A cam, and then the R6 as a B cam, and it did start to overheat after 27 minutes, which wasn't too bad actually. We'd nearly finished the interview. I think it ended up keeping up the good work for the full interview. But and then on another job, it did actually switch off, and I think it switched off quite quickly as well. And it wasn't even like as hot a day, because it was like a really hot day that day when it lasted a good 27 minutes. Really, so I think it did pretty well actually for what it is. But yeah, right. Let's talk about the Sony. So the Sonys are what I recommend. I tell you what, before we get into the Sonys though, I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but the Lumix S5 2X. This is a really interesting camera. This one, I think it's a really interesting camera, and this deal on it looks pretty good as well. So the only thing is you'd get another camera system, but I've always liked the Lumix. I did shoot a wedding with the Canon R6, and I'd got the, what is it, the Panasonic Lumix GH5 Mark II, and it were a lovely little camera to shoot with. The IBIS is fantastic. The autofocus was pretty naff, really, but it kind of made you a better camera operator, if you know what I mean. With that, this is a fantastic lens. This 20-60. Let me just check how much the GH5 Mark IIs are now, because if less than £1,000, aren't they? Sometimes. What, 1,700? Oh, it's got that's the lens. That's the lens that I used to shoot that wedding that time with this one. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, but it's all Sony for me now. So I've kind of started offloading the Blackmagic gear, selling that, and then got more into the Sonys. Got the FX6 as well. So the FX6 is a camera that I'm not using that much actually, but I keep saying I'm gonna start using that, but it's just bigger and bulkier, and it looks the part though for jobs. It's gone down a bit as well, but it is a great camera, really. I think what would be the lenses that I get with the Sony then? So look, this is a good all-round lens. It's 24-105, a lens that I own, a lens that I use quite a lot. In corporate work, f4 is absolutely fine. You might need your bokeh shots for like 1 or 2 shots in a corporate shoot, but really you're not going to be going lower than f4 unless it's you got low light situation. But then you've got really good. The Sonys are really good in low light anyway. So the thing is, with how good the Sonys are in low light, you can probably, some people might disagree, but you can probably go with mostly f4 lenses, which means you're going to have less weight. So it's going to be smaller in your camera bag, less weight, less glass, because it's less of an f-stop. But honestly, this is a fantastic bargain of a lens. It's not a box of primes. It is a zoom lens, but it's sharp. It's sharp all the way through, and it's fantastic. And you can just have that one in your camera bag. So if there's one lens that I recommend, it's that one. But I show that lens to some people, say it's 929 quid. You can sometimes get 800 quid off. I think I paid about 830 or something, or 800 quid. But that's a fantastic lens. What else have we got then? We've got what's that one? Is that a Mark II version or something? Or is that the same lens? But yeah, these are good lenses. Don't get the one with the variable aperture. Get the one with the f. So yeah, that's the one to get. Definitely the 24-105 G f4 constant all the way through. There's the focal range, the zoom, and then if we're going to get one other, I'll tell you one of my other favourite lenses, because you'll be covered 24-105 with that. If you're going to get one prime, this is the one that I'd get. I mean, I would recommend going with the 24-70, like a Mark II. So that's probably one of the nicest lenses you can get as well. If you want a really good lens, they're going on about £1,700, £1,800. But let's say you wanted a lens for about £500. I think the Sony 35, that one at 445 is a fantastic lens. If you consider the G Master 1.4 at 1,159, that's a 1.4. This is a 1.8. That does most of what that does. So there's kind of diminishing returns. I know the optical quality is a lot better. People are going to disagree with me. You do get what you pay for, but that is a fantastic lens, and I use that on professional jobs all the time. 445.99. So if you're just going to get one lens, 35mm, a nice natural focal length. And then the other one that I quite like is, I don't use the 85 much. I've got the 85. I've only just started to build my collection up with. I try not to call it collection because it's for professional use. I'm not a collector, so I'm trying to buy more lenses, but I'm going to sell some Canon lenses before I do. But I've got that 85, not that 85. Which one is it? That one. Yeah, this 85 one. It's full frame, f1.8, 85mm. But I don't use it that much. But it is a beautiful lens, and it's that's the price, £408.59 at the moment on Amazon. But the one that I really like is the Zeiss 55, which is that one, which is £539. Can't remember how much I paid for it. But it's a Zeiss. That is a lovely lens, so I would 100% recommend that one. That's probably one of my most used lenses. So it's not a 50, it's a 55. So it's another 5mm. So it's a bit more zoomed out, a bit tighter, yeah. But that's still a fantastic lens. So I get, if I were going to just have like one camera, I'd get the Sony A7 IV, because it's great for photo, it's great for video, just slow motion, it does time lapse. It's very easy to switch between. It's very easy to use. If you're coming from Canon, the menu might be a bit trickier, but I don't mind it. I find it fine. You get used to it. What I'm trying to come away from is having multiple camera bodies to have to keep on top of, and it just becomes really confusing. So you bet, if you don't know the tools that you've got, it can be a lot harder in a stressful situation, like if you're on a busy film and shoot or something like that. So you need to really know your equipment. And in terms of bang for buck and me making money from video production services, I've made a lot more money just with that camera than probably any other camera in the time that I've had it, if that makes sense. So it's just been a nice to use small with IBIS. The IBIS is not as good as the Lumixes, like the GH5 and stuff like that. It's not as good as that. They're a real pleasure to use for the IBIS. And you know what? I do like the Lumixes, to be honest with you. But the Sony adds the great autofocus. And I know the autofocus has improved on the Lumixes in the recent models and stuff like that. But the Sony has got, for me, this might be controversial, better autofocus than I ever noticed with Canon's dual pixel autofocus. So Sony, it's got better autofocus as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know if that's kind of, I've owned both, so it just seems like it's better for me. I don't know why, but it just seems a lot better, really. So I would say with the Sony, though, I've got them all switched to the eat tolerance mode, or whatever they call it. So I've switched them all to that so they don't overeat, basically. And I hardly ever get that one. I've filmed lengthy podcasts, like an hour and a half, 2 hours sessions, and the overeating's only just started to come on. But I'm fully aware that's probably diminishing or breaking the internals a bit more, by having that on. But it's a camera setting. It's not an hack or anything like that. It's not aftermarket. Or anything like that, so it's absolutely fine. So yeah, decided on the Sony. This is if you've got that budget. So if you've got £3,000 to spend, if you've got 3,000 UK pounds or about $3,500-4,000, I'd get a Sony A7 IV. I don't think I'd bother with a kit lens unless it were like the same price. So I won't get the kit lens because I've never really used the kit lens, which I think's it's like 28 to 70, 3.5 to 5.6. I've never really used that. That's just in the camera bag, just like I don't really use that. So I try to get without the kit lens, even if you save a bit, £50 or £40 or something like that. I think it depends if you want another lens, but I think in hindsight I'd get it without that. And then I'd get the if you've got. It depends what you've got in terms of, if you've got just £500, I will get the 35mm. Sorry, the Canon 35, the Sony 35mm. So I get the 1.8 35mm, that one, 44599. If you've got a bit more money, I get the 24 to 105 any day, like that. So you've got that one then. That's the 929 on Amazon currently here in the UK. And then I get a good memory card. So you want to like 256, and you can have them. There's 2 slots as well. Depends if you're doing professional work, you want 2 slots. If you're just doing like leisure, amateur photography kind of thing, you can get away with just having one if you want. just make sure you back up and all that kind of thing. But with commercial shoots, you need to utilize the full redundancy and resilience of the camera. So 2 slots. So get some good quality memory cards. I'll tell you what I go for actually, a V90s. You don't need V90s. V60s should probably do it actually, but I like these pro grades. So these V90s, the 256. 256 will get you plenty. So I go with is it these V60s? It's the V90s actually. What do I use? We've got, let's have a check in here. So we've got spin the camera. Yeah, these pro grades. That's the one. So these, but I thought they were a bit cheaper. But they're V90s, aren't they? So the V6, I typed in V90. V60s are good for most things. So so V60s. It depends what you want really. But these are the ones, yeah. So that's a good memory card. V90s, you know, I've got a couple of V90s, but most of them are V60s, so you'll be fine with those. So you get these ones, and yeah. So I get the 256 seems to be sweet spot. 512 gets a lot more expensive, so it depends how much money you've got, how much bang for your buck you want, how much convenience you want. But 256 that does for me, and that'll get you hours worth of footage depending on the settings on your camera. So what's next then? So your audio, right? So mics, I will recommend this. This is a good all round mic. It's a Rode Video Mic NTG. So generally the audio, the mics in the camera aren't very good. They're good for scratch audio, which is audio just to synchronize, multiple audio sources really. So you want to get a microphone really, and one of the best microphones I've found, and it's currently a good price actually because I've seen them for $220, if not a bit more. But it's the Rode Video Mic NTG. This is a really, really cool mic. So you can plug it into a computer, a Mac, use it as a podcast, use it on Zoom calls, Teams calls, Google Meet calls. You plug it into your camera with a 3.5. So that's usually how you'd use it as well. You've got an internal battery, lasts about 7 or 8 hours. It's a fantastic one. That is the latest iteration as well. There's other mics that you can get, but the thing about this is if you go into a noisier environment, you've got the analog controls as well, so you can cut the dBs, you can switch it up, and generally with videography, with the Sonys, what I've learned is with the Canons, set the internal audio to 1/0. With the Sonys, I've been setting it to 6. I don't know if the preamps aren't as powerful in the A7 IV. I don't know what's going on, but I find 6 is a good sweet spot to then use the range of microphones that I use. So I don't know if you want to comment in if you've got some improvements I can make over that, but I found setting it to 1 and then using a mic has not been enough, and obviously I know how to set the controls on these mics as well. So yeah, it's a fantastic microphone, very versatile. If you're doing any vlogging, for example, you can just put it on a little tripod, your camera, and then just sit it here. It's a boom mic basically. Works indoors and outdoors. I've also got it comes with I don't know if we can see where it, in terms of it comes with the foam windshield, which is not very good outside actually. You can see they're using it there as a podcast or like a Zoom call kind of thing. It's there on a camera. That looks pretty badass, that. And then it's there. You probably wouldn't have it outside like that without at least a foam on it. But what I bought extra, which were probably about 25-30 quid, was the wind shield. It's a furry one, so it's one of these. which one is it now? So it's the WS11. Yeah, that's the one. So WS11 currently 34 quid, and I've got that on mine. And I've got 3 of these mics, by the way. The great microphones. So never let me down. Absolutely fantastic. Now, if you want me to recommend something different, so a wireless mic, because this is not going to be a wireless mic. What I'm currently using as well, I've got a load of microphones, but the Rode Wireless Pro, this is fantastic. I highly recommend this. It's got its quirks, but wow, look at the price. What? £284. That's a bargain. So this is a fantastic bargain. It's really, I can't believe that price. I'm in no way affiliated with Rode. I'll tell you what kind of goes wrong with these, and it's thankfully like not the internals or anything like that. As far as I know, I did have the wireless, the one before it, the Wireless Go 2, and one of the transmitters did fail, which were annoying, and then that's why I bought this. But it's 32-bit float, so it's like having RAW for your audio. You've got what else you got? You've got it comes with a couple of lavs. They do have windshields over them as well. You can just use the transmitters. You get 2 transmitters, 1 receiver. You can even make a wireless boom with it as well. You know, it's really good. I usually stick them on the cold shoe of the camera, 3.5 into the camera, and then this is my A-cam. And I usually use these for A-cam as well, even though I've got a mic boomed into the Zoom F6. So I usually use these for A-cam a lot of the time because the quality is so good. I use the mics that come with it, even though I've got like better mics technically, but these are good enough, absolute professional quality. Even though it's probably just like considered a prosumer product, it is on 2.4 gigahertz wireless Wi-Fi network, so you might run into trouble with interference if you're in like a busy event with lots of people competing for that. So it is the same bandwidth as Wi-Fi as well. So just monitor your audio anyway. Make sure that you've got redundancy as well. It does backup audio internally as well, which is brilliant. And you can plug it into a PC or Mac to change the settings, which I do recommend that you do as well. I can do a video on the settings that I use if you want. I tend to use manual mode rather than automatic because I had some trouble with that. I couldn't make that work for me, so I am using it manually. You have got a safety track as well, so no trouble with doing that. And you've got 32-bit float, which is just like everything you need out of a mic, really. It is prosumer, so it's probably built for a price. And that has shown with often these little grips for the lav mics, they kind of get a bit loose. It's happened on mine. Another like more cosmetic, almost like nearly functional thing is the little zip comes off on mine. I think I've had a fellow videographer who's complained that these have snapped and things like that. So it's built for a price, but that price is unbelievable. I paid more than that. That's crazy. So these are fantastic. It's not by Amazon; it's by another company. So, but anyway, that's a fantastic buy. I would highly recommend those. Are there any other mics that I do recommend? I personally, there's all these other mics that you can buy, and depends what you're using them for. But those are the 2 that I use. If you're doing podcasting, you can't go wrong with the Rode Pod mic. Obviously, for this, I'm using an SM7B. But I mean, we're kind of going off on one with mics now, so I'll kind of rein it in. But SM7B is this mic. That one, so £333, probably one of the best mics you can buy. And then I've got it going into a Rodecaster Pro 2, just in case you're wondering on what I'm recording this on. I'm recording this on a MacBook Pro M1 Max, which is fantastic. I'm just recording it into Loom, and then I'm just using the camera from. I'm all blurred out as well with the background, aren't I? So, and it's kind of blurring out part of the mic as well. So, I'm trying to get that the same depth of field. But yeah, I use it with a. Why is that not coming up? Rodecaster Pro 2. That is, I've typed it in right, haven't I? That one, yeah, that one. So they've come down a bit in price since I bought it. So, yeah, this is This is that one, 550. That is a bargain. I love it. It's brilliant. I'm just using it really as an audio interface, not even podcasting, but I usually use the Zoom F6 for podcasting, but yeah, so it is brilliant. This is overkill for what I need, but it's got these Evolution preamps, which are great with the SM7B. So yeah, it's really good. Right, so I'll leave you with that then. So just to summarise, I would recommend the Sony A7 IV. Just drop a comment in with which camera you've been looking at. You know, if you're looking at your first camera, if you're a seasoned pro, if you're an amateur who's looking at upping your game. So you know, just let me know what you prefer. I'm a professional videographer. I own a marketing company, do a lot of paid ads for clients, websites, SEO, you know, all that kind of thing to help businesses grow. Videography is a big part of it. Just to summarize then, I recommend the Sony A7 IV. Perhaps I'm biased, but I've had a lot of camera gear in my time. And then the lens would either be when I'm typing in lens, the Sony 35mm, or which is that one, or the 24-105, which I think is better than the Canon one, better than the Canon EF one. So I've got that one as well. This is miles better as far as I'm concerned. I don't really want to start a big debate like Canon versus Sony, but I've had Canon for years, and then I got into Sony, and I just prefer it. So absolutely fantastic. What else we got? So the video mic NTG, highly recommend it. Love it, love it, love it. And I get the WS11 as well. So the WS11 windshield, I'd get that one as well, wherever that's coming up, that one. And then if you do want wireless, wow, that is a bargain. So the Rode Wireless Go 2, Wireless Pro, that's the one I had before. So the Wireless Pro, that is a good price. I've not looked at these. I've not looked at gear for a while. I've not bought gear for a while, but that's fantastic. And then you want a little tripod. So I'll tell you the tripod that I use a lot of the time. I use a little. It depends if it's on the desk. So I'll just finish off with tripods then, because you probably need a tripod as well. And I mentioned memory cards, like the Pro Greys. I like them. So I've got one of those with the Ed. But I like these B3s, and that's not the one I've got, because I prefer. I don't like the twisties. I prefer the kind of whatever they call those. Let me tell you the one that I got. I don't know if I'd recommend that, but I like the B3s. It's not that one. That's good for a video one. If you want the panning, tilting. That's the one I've got. Yeah, 230 quid. And you can, it's great for vertical. You've got a little pan tilty kind of thing. It's not a fluid head though, but I use that quite a lot. And that's one of my main ones that I use really. So it's nice for a mirrorless camera. It's nice and robust. I use it quite a lot, and I prefer those kind of, these kind of, I don't know what they call them, but I don't like the twisty ones. But that's a great little tripod. But you can also get, if you want a video tripod, you know, to really look the part, because that looks like, you know, something you take on a camping trip or something, but I use that professionally. But if you want something that looks the part, there's the, what are they now? The, video tripod. The small rig, that's a good one. So that looks like a video tripod, doesn't it? It looks like a really good one. So they're really good for £132. And then there's another, this one as well. That is a bargain. So £98 with £20 voucher. That's £78 9 pence. So I've got one of those. Use it all the time for jobs. Looks the part. Fantastic. You can't go wrong with it, honestly. It's fantastic. I think it's the BV30. It's definitely Kia. But they do these crazy deals on them. I've seen those at £120, but it's £98 9 pence and then £20 off it. So they're fantastic. And then if you want a little desktop one, you can go with the mini ones. I'll tell you which one to get. There's a couple of different ones. So they're okay. but these ones are better. These Pixie Evo 2 ones, these are better. So you can lay them kind of more flat. These are easier to put your camera on because you can kind of twist it on. Whereas these little ones, you kind of, similar kind of thing, but you've got to kind of swivel the whole thing to get it on, really. So there's only like one moving part onto that with that. So these are brilliant. And you might want to get one with the, what is it? Yeah, that one. That's the one, yeah. Get that one, and you might want to get it with the, I think it's the same one, is it? With the little phone holder as well. I've not got that phone holder, so I can't really kind of endorse it. But yeah, so they're good tripods anyway. So if you want one that really looks the part, though, the Kia or the small rig one, I prefer the Kia actually to the small rig one. To be honest with you, I've got both of them. But they are a heavy thing. Kind of they're not carbon fiber, but you know, I use those in the studio and they're absolutely fine. So yeah, we this video is going on for 31 minutes, right? So are we going to wrap it up? What else do you want to know? Can you get a better camera than the A7 IV? Depends what you need. I mean, look, there's the you got different ones. The 7R5, all that kind of thing. But look, you can get all kinds of cameras. A7, S3. When I was buying these cameras, when I was buying the A7 IV, I decided not to get the A7 S3 because I wanted better photo capabilities as well, a bit more hybrid between photo and video. And I kind of made some compromises on the video, but actually, because it's I think it's downsampled on the the look of it is just amazing. And I'll give you a tip as well. You don't have to color grade with them, so you could just use S-Cinetone, which is the best thing ever. S-Cinetone is the best thing. So I've not done any color grading since I've got the Sonys as well. Just use S-Cinetone. Why add complexity? It's not a rite of passage to color grade, in my opinion. I'm not working on big productions. The corporate videos, that for like local businesses, and you know, it's TV quality, really, that we're producing. So there's diminishing returns with things, and we don't need to be able to push colours. We're not going for like dramatic effects or anything like that. So yeah, I want to cut out. I want to trim the fat really with the business and less operational drag. But maybe that's overkill for you. But yeah, if you want something a bit better, then the A1 is probably like the ultimate in terms of a Sony. But you know, you'd be paying $5,000 for a camera, and then the other one, if you want to, go cinema, then the FX6, which just over $5,000, 5,400 for that kind of thing. But do you need it? Most of the jobs I've done, the FX6 is in the Pelican case most of the time, never gets used. Might even sell it. I love it, but it looks the part. You go to a client, they like the look of it, but most of the time when it's run and gun and you've got limited time with a client and you've got small spaces as well, like a little treatment room, like a dentist or something like that, you don't want to have big cameras, big film crew type vibe, or it's just going to be overwhelming for people who are in front of camera as well. If you've got a little mirrorless camera, yeah, you might get some comments saying, oh, you're just filming it on a little photo camera or something. But I mean, I think people are coming around to that you can film on iPhones these days, and you can film on mirrorless cameras, and that perception I think will diminish over time. With it, filming on bigger cameras it might be going out. I don't know. I mean, you don't get much better picture out of a Sony FX6 than a Sony A7 IV, and I've got both, so I can say that it is diminishing returns. What you do get is that you get external controls, like I said with the Rode Video Mic NTG. You get better controls. You get external controls, which is better than going into fiddly menus and messing about. And that's why it's better to film on you can get fantastic quality on an iPhone, but you've still got to go in and you've got less control. And I know a lot of us want automatic like auto ASO, auto white balance, things like that. And it's just better when it's run and gun. You don't have to go into all manual and get kind of anal and hung up about that kind of thing. But when it comes to simplicity, the A74 is a sweet spot for me. I'll probably pick up the FX6 at some point and do a bit more with that. And it looks the part and everything, but you know, sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth. You've got to set it up and all that kind of thing. So it depends. You can just drop it into a bag all fully set up as well. I've seen some guys on YouTube doing that with certain bags. I picked up a nice bag you can do that with, actually. But yeah, I just like to be able to fit 3 Sony A74s into one backpack and then just put a lens on it, or it's already got a lens on it, and just start filming. And you know, there's no warm up, anything like that. I mean, there's not with the Sony A74. It's not like a Red or Arri Alexi, but you just switch it on, it just works, and it's just fantastic. You've got some spare batteries in there. It's just simplicity in business makes me more profit, so that's a lot better. It looks the part. Don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic. It's an amazing camera. It's got that variable ND, which is amazing. But you know, do you need it? Is it a want or a need? So yeah, right. I'll wrap up the video. Appreciate you following along with this. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you're looking at buying your first camera, another camera, interested in what I use for my professional videography and digital marketing business, that's what we use. Sony A74s. Don't use G Master lenses or anything like that. Just using like the basic lenses. It just shows that it's the knowledge that you apply with your videography. You don't need the latest camera. I don't have the latest cameras. I don't buy the latest cameras. The a depreciating asset. I make use of what we've got, and it's how you use it as well, and it's proper lighting as well. I've got a lot of good professional lighting, aperture, Amaran, that kind of thing. So it's how you light things up. It's your eye for detail. It's the exposure triangle. It's just knowing when to do things. It's just experience. So my recommendation would be to get the camera, the best camera that you can afford. Get out there and start shooting. Get out there and start filming, taking photos, coming back to your bedroom or your home studio or your office or whatever, seeing how it looks. Get some videos watched on how to do things, and if you're not sure how to edit, just get stuck into that. Trial and error. Watch something, a tutorial, then implement it. Maybe get a mentor or a coach to help you as well. Somebody who already knows how to do it, and they can impart that knowledge to you. Go on a course, buy a course, things like that. So the knowledge is out there now. You know, it's on School of YouTube. It's on here. It's on social media. You can buy a course. There's so much knowledge out there. I don't even think you need to go to your university or college these days. You can just like get it online and then implement it. And it's actually in the doing and the actions that where you learn and grow as an individual. So good luck to you with this on your journey, whichever stage you're at, whether you're professional like me or just somebody getting started or just, you know, looking, you know, at the options and things like that. But that's my perspective. Yeah, I'll see you next time.